All right. So back to what I was saying. I knew it wasn't going to be long before, you know what I'm saying, I don't know what, I usually call her my wife just as a, like a comedy theme. It was like the only female in my life, you know what I'm saying? The only female that I dealt with, and she was real cool, man. Used to come by, clean up the house for a little money, ask me for little favors and shit, you know what I'm saying? So I called her my wife, you know what I'm saying? We used to have a real wild, crazy relationship. This is back in 2000. You know, when I was living my life as a, you know, as a, I guess a street guy. You know what I'm saying? Really just a, trying to be a rapper in a, you know what I'm saying, pre-pubescent phase of that particular lifestyle. So, yeah, I'm running around here and dealing drugs and doing all kind of shit, man, playing little hoe ass mind games, just like she was. I mean, don't let's not get it twisted. We not talking about I took a good girl from the burbs and got her to stop reading books to get up under my pimp hand or no shit like that. I mean, you know what I'm saying? We had a relationship to where sometime, man, we would be so close that you really would think something was there. You know what I'm saying? And all of a sudden, out of the blue, you know, she'll end up getting dropped off by another dude. You know what I'm saying? Or end up having a baby for another dude, or I end up having a baby by another chick. You know what I mean? But you know what I'm saying? While we was around each other, you know, it was always, it always felt, I don't know, it just always felt like it was right. You know what I'm saying? It's just like the I wouldn't even say chemistry. You know what I'm saying? Because you know most of what we did was just be around each other. You know what I'm saying? To have sex. You know what I'm saying? But so if that's what make chemistry, I guess that's what chemistry is. You know, I really didn't have that kind of chemistry with anybody else, but or maybe I did. You know what I'm saying? But this chemistry was a little bit different. You know what I mean? So and I respected it for what it was. So the title wife was just my somewhat nickname. You know what I'm saying, for a good friend to set her apart from anybody else I may have had a somewhat of a relationship with. So you know what I'm saying, and it's just for talking on this. You know what I'm saying, but it never failed. You know, today we had got into a little argument. I made a recording earlier that came out real choppy, and I had to timestamp it too because what it is, I got a lot of people gaslighting. I think that the term is gaslighting. You know what I'm saying, where your friends get together and for whatever reason I don't know, and I know I've mentioned this a million times, but I gotta bring it back home. But for whatever reason, they are trying to discredit me like big time. Like I don't know what it is about somebody higher up does not want me to get in. Really don't want me to get in anything. What it's starting to feel like, or you know, from the positive side, we could say God is taking you through something. You know what I mean? If a preacher was preaching and preaching, or if I was preaching to you, I would say, "Oh my, this is my storm," but I'm gonna come out on the other side brighter than ever, or whatever. But you know, but just speaking from a perspective where okay, now you can see the moving parts. So now this has gotten far beyond seeing by faith and knowing things that are happening to you are happening because of you know, just a bad time, unfortunate events. Now these are people that's been placed in my life to simultaneously just come around and drop missiles. It's almost like if I was a giant. Now I'm trying to think of a movie like King Kong, right? And you know, the aircraft crew come and you know the little dudes come by, stow little bombs here and there. You know what I'm saying? The kids run up and throw sticks and firecrackers at you, and you know, and it's like it's not a situation to where And like I said, it's gradually been getting worse. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm not to the point to where I'm complaining about the physical damage that's being done. You know what I'm saying? Although there is some physical damage being done, I'm just bringing to the light the things that are happening that I'm able to get somewhat of a finger on. You understand what I'm saying? Whoa, man, this is kind of like not right. So the people that come against you or come against me, starting somewhere around 2015 or whatever, they all made themselves super visible, like hyper visible, like it kind of like took the gloves off. So they're showing me what they're all about, and I don't know if that's, you know what I'm saying, some kind of grand architect trying to let them know I don't have any solace in this particular world, or trying to push me to the brink of suicide, or trying to, I don't know, man. It's just hard to say, or trying to stick me with a stigma of having mental illness, so maybe I can't produce for in the future. You understand what I'm saying? Because I've always been the type of cat that look toward the future, like for everything. So I never pictured a future without me being in it and without me being prosperous. You know what I mean? And that's another thing, man, with blocking my vision and being so negative and nasty and undermining, and also contaminating the music and contaminating the entertainment. It has blocked my vision so much to the point where I say, damn, so are you trying to block the fact that I can see? Because and it's funny that everything that they're telling everybody that you're supposed to use works for everybody except for me. And as a matter of fact, it worked for me until it stopped working for me, right? And we're talking about the law of attraction. You know what I'm saying? I speak of that a lot because there's a lot of what's going on in 2017. A lot is being revealed to us. You know what I'm saying? And it is a architect. You know what I'm saying? That's creating a lot of mischief and a lot of things going wrong. And so as you're a lot of the stuff that's going on. And one thing that I noticed that's a common thread is African Americans have no positive representation. So if China was to come in and take over America, based on the information that they have on us, we're unfit to lead. We're unfit to rule. We're unfit to have a voice. And that ain't why I'm saying things are happening. I'm just saying hypothetically, why is it so imperative that we lose power? And you got to understand the main reason I have issue with it is because it hit home. It's affecting me in my personal life and my personal stance. So everybody with their Christian eyes would just rather say, hey man, God save me. You know what I'm saying? That would be a beautiful thing. I mean, that is a beautiful thing, you know what I'm saying, when you can read the Bible and get some solstice. You know what I'm saying? But it's also a crazy thing when you can read the Bible and you can see that everybody didn't triumph in the Bible. Some people got stomped. Some people got smashed. And God blesses, the God of the Bible blesses some of the killers and some of the predators with the spoils of the people that they defeated. So when I go and I start, learning about African history, things that happened prior to the slave trade, which romanticizes a lot about Egypt. One thing that stuck to me a lot was Egypt got ramshacked. They got raided, got raped, and people to this day is still selling, ornaments and things like that they found from Egypt. We don't even know how many years ago that it was. There's so much going around that it's crazy that all of this stuff came from this one place. And that's exactly how I feel when I tell you that, people are still in my thoughts, and, and sometimes, man, I will wake up literally a shell of myself. You know what I'm saying? And while I'm waking up a shell of myself, I'm seeing so much of me in all of these different people that are getting green lit. Like they light is lit. They going on and whoop de woo, and I'm not trying to, piss on nobody parade. You know what I'm saying? Because, a lot of stuff ain't really malicious. It's funny from the mainstream perspective. A lot of it almost sounds intuitive. You know what I'm saying? Like unity, like, you know what I'm saying, man, you're supposed to be over here with us. And that's why we taking from you, because we kind of somewhat calling you, in a sense. It feels kind of warm, even though that might not be the case at all. You know what I'm saying? But it's like the lower level, like, you know what I'm saying, from the YouTubers. It's like a malicious, like, mocking, like, you know what I'm saying, like, and that's what's crazy. So I'm gonna get back to that because I mentioned all that in the last video that I made. I mean, the last recording that I done. But I'm gonna get back to the fact that, I guess you say ex-wife now. Hell, I don't know what to call her, but I just don't want to really say names because this thing is somewhat anonymous, and really don't want to go all the way out with it. But sometimes, man, you have to have something to kind of back you. You know what I'm saying? Even though it may not matter in the grand scheme of things, it may matter. It's just like when Tyrese was crying and everything about the child situation. And a lot of the people, man, that was going around was saying he's trying to get sympathy from the courts. And oddly enough, when I say everything is everything, man, I'm like included in everything, even flat earth, FE. But everything is everything, man. So it's almost to the point to where I think a lot of people are starting to smarten up or starting to wipe the mash on the gas and do things in completely different ways or attack me from different angles. So since they see that, well, maybe when he goes on social media, what he does is try to garner sympathy, you know what I'm saying, from the courts, because this could be a big court. This could be a some type of spiritual court of a law of the land or something. We don't know what it is, but you simply have a guy that's clearly being railroaded and clearly being backed into a corner and made to feel a certain kind of way. And maybe he has to appeal to a judge or whatever. Who knows? But that would definitely get your enemies up on their game. Because like I say, it's to the point to where, if you had to pick a scenario, you would say that they're trying to find an angle to pin on you to be unstable. And when you hear this story, it sounds megally unstable. You know what I mean? But if it's all by a design, a grand scheme to sap up your energy, and this is the craziest thing in the world, man. It's almost like you feel like you're being stretched out on a table and being made aware of the fact that your friends are working for your enemies, and your enemies are some kind of way, some ritualistic way, benefiting off of the energy that you have while you're, being sliced up like a Pizzagate thing, the whole Pizzagate thing, the whole child thing. That's why I say I think the chip was in my brain from birth, and I think as a child I was given to these people for their own personal gain or whatever, and maybe my mother gets a kick out of it because she got promised something at the end of the rainbow if you made it through, or maybe that's the thing, out of this select group of targeted individuals, maybe all of us are going through the same thing, or maybe one or two display the characteristics of whatever they're trying to do Or maybe this is an initiation to the next step of manhood. Maybe they're trying to get you to blow your brains out. Maybe they're telling your friends that this is a good thing for you if you make it through. Or maybe they're telling a stranger, because everybody can't be in on this coup. You know what I'm saying? But they have definitely lowered the humanity in people to the point to where chasing a bag, even if it's a perfect motherfucker's life. I mean, it's crazy that you have people that ain't about shit able to sit back and watch a motherfucker get picked apart and think they're better than that person who don't have a fair chance. It's like every time you stand up, somebody kick your leg from under you and say he can't stand on his own 2 feet. And this person say, why the fuck won't he just stand on his own 2 feet? You understand what I'm saying? Well, I can stand on my own 2 feet, so fuck him. It's almost a situation similar to that. But anyway, I'm going to start with last week, even though I just recorded. The recording came out choppy and shit. And ain't nobody listening to it anyway, but just in case they do. So anyway, we go out last week. Now, week before last. Well, it maybe been about 3 weeks ago. You know what I'm saying? We actually, you know what I'm saying, had sex. Weird experience, you know what I'm saying? It was it should have been good for her. I mean, for the fact that I'm not going to get all into the details. But it was kind of strange that, as I was trying to, penetrate her, the positions was like awkward. It was like, it's almost like if you put your body in a position where I have to put my body in a weird position to get to you. You know what I mean? To get to your opening. So it was really like awkward. It was really hard to make happen. You know what I'm saying? Normally. So it was strange. So I said, so the thing was, to have sex but not have sex. You know what I'm saying? Give you the thrill of the moment, but actually not give it all the way up to you, if it makes sense. So that was a weird little night that we had, but it was great for me. I mean, I hadn't had sex in like 4 years. I've been pretty much celibate for like 4 years. So, you know what I'm saying? It just something to add to the imagination. It was just a great experience, even though it might not have been all positive. You know what I'm saying? But it was a great acting job on her behalf. But I did pick up on that. You know what I'm saying? And like I say, man, after that particularly happened, it was a great. It was a great week after that. You know what I'm saying? So a week after that, we moved and everything. And I think I told a story in another video about the Coors Light thing, which is not really a big deal, but you know what I'm saying, it happened. And once that happened, you know what I'm saying, my little old mood about the whole situation, because it's just like everybody on teams against you, man. It is what it is, man. Everybody done pretty much pick sides, and so what they're trying to do is, for whatever reason, and I ain't just talking about they as in one or two people in my clique, I mean pretty much the whole game, is to move me out of a position that I'm not even in. You would think I was on top or something like that, but basically to make me irrelevant. So take everything from you, everything, because I don't have anything. So now the thing is, well, what he may think he have, make sure he don't have that. Take that too. And that's where these one or two, small players in my life come in at. You know what I mean? So they'll, whether it's my daughter, you know what I'm saying, whether it's this girl here, and so sure enough, so she called me last week, you know what I'm saying? After that, man, I was kind of pretty much kind of distant. Like, hey, man, it's I mean, you know what it is, man. So I don't know why we sitting around here playing with each other unless she had your best interest at heart. It's always a possibility that all this stuff that's happening to you, man, it may shake itself out positivity. God working mysterious ways, so they say. We serve a good God. Maybe we can find a silver lining. Maybe he's sending somebody to you and kind of alerting you that this game is rigged for your success. In a weird way, man, we got to come up with these. If not, you might well just go on a rampage and just start, just give up on life. So you have to look at it like it has to be an end game, and when it ends, where can you pick up the pieces? And that's how I'm trying to look at things. So she called back, made my day, even though I still was feeling kind of shady. We get to try this one more time, man, and hopefully this energy is good. So I get back with her, and the energy was super off, man. It was just a off-putting energy. So we was talking, but what we wanted, she wanted to go get something to eat. She wanted to go watch Madea Boo 2. And I said, we go out to Madea. We're going to go to Studio Movie Grill, but one of our favorite restaurants we used to go to back in the early days, 2000 and shit. One of our favorite restaurants it's on the same property. So we catch us some food and then go, check at the Tyler Perry deal. So as we go to the love dinner or whatever, man, as we were riding, and my thing was to go to the spa too. After we go to the King spa, it's like a 24-hour spa, where we can talk, because it's a lot that I want to explain to her, because I feel like if you're not all the way receptive to what I'm telling you, you may easily be manipulated. Because the way that the game is, man, you first have to dehumanize me, and then it's easy to manipulate you. At the end of the day, it's a possibility that all of these people, even though I've gave them everything, I gave them the shirt off my back. I gave them nothing but love. When I say I gave them nothing but love, I mean genuine love, man. Like nothing negative, no kind of hatred, nowhere in the exchange. But they all turned on me. But when I say turned on me, it was like a turn on you, like a trying to force you to acknowledge the fact that they have something in on y'all, something over your head, but want you to come to your own conclusions. You understand what I'm saying? So, kind of put you in a weird position, with them, but where you have to draw your own conclusions. So basically, either hang around us, man, and allow us to just beat on your goddamn head all day, or respond. But when you respond, why you respond? You understand? So it's a weird thing when I say weaponized language, and shit like that. And it was, I only dealt with a very few people. My circle was small because, like I said, I was always working on myself. So when I would hang in a circle, and whenever me and a particular person's time was finished, over with hanging with each other, I wasn't the type of person to go run somebody down. I always needed that me time because I was working on me. You understand what I'm saying? So, but I was always available for my friends when they needed me. So basically, it's like, and that's why I say take turns babysitting y'all. Take turns, gaining your trust before they stab you in the back. And then as soon as you fall out with one or have a bad miscommunication with one, the other one just pop up out the blue. Like, hey man, what you doing? So that person will waste your time. You know what I'm saying? And like I say, at the time, all this stuff just felt healthy to me, man. It just felt normal until somewhere around, 2015 is when, people started ramping up their shit. And as for her, she started ramping up her shit within the last month. So So we go to the little old place, and as we eating, we go crack crabs and shit, eating shrimp and crab, and the conversation was just kind of awkward, man. It was just all, it was going into places like, like when somebody asks you something, like she just moved into a house, right? I just helped her move to a house, and matter of fact, with the night of the Coors Light thing, I was putting up the bed, and so we kind of like bonding or whatever, and I would make jokes about moving in with her. So as we're eating our now, she called me to take her to Boo too. You know what I'm saying? And after the little night of sex, we've been bonding pretty heavy for like, I'll say a week. You know what I'm saying? And the next week was a little rocky, but this week was to conquer the rocky phase. So she would call, hey man, are we gonna hang out tonight? You know what, ain't like I got shit else to do. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, let's go on and clear the air, because the last communication that we had was nasty, it was rough. And I don't want, you know what I'm saying, I do want to end it on a better foot than that. So I got with her, man, the energy was just off, it was cold. Oh, and one of the questions that she would add would be some shit like, yeah, so where you talking about moving to? I said, I don't know, man. I think probably like something like East Texas or something like that. Oh, yeah, that's good right there. Sometimes it's good to get away. You know what I mean? It when I say distant, and it wasn't that particularly type of conversation, but it was something along the lines of that. Basically, it was basically saying, but shit, because I don't have anything for you here. You know what I'm saying? And that's basically like every comment was to that effect. So I'm like, well, damn, it's just me and you here. You could have called anybody. You could have been spending time with any motherfucking body in the world. Why are you calling me to let me to just show me how much time I'm wasting here? You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm thinking, but I can't really put it into words at the moment. I'm just like, man, it's just weird. So anyway, after we got through eating, I just said, hey man, I ain't really feeling the movie. I'll take you back to the crib or whatever. So we go back to the crib, and I said, well, I know if the energy was off on my end, I know it was super off on her end. Plus, I ain't gonna even mention about the bad days I've been having as far as, otherwise. So anyway, I take her back to the house, and the same thing happened again. That was last week, so same thing happened this week. She called me, hey man, what you doing? And she had called me a couple of times. We'd been kind of playing phone tag and shit, and it was kind of weird. Hung up in my face one day, acting like she couldn't hear me. It was kind of crazy. But all this stuff plays into the narrative of, you know what I'm saying, being unpleasant to be around. You know what I'm saying? So the last, so she called me today and said, shit, what you doing? I'm like, well, what you want? I really don't want nothing. Okay, so what's going on? Nothing, man, but my mama, she done left in the car or whatever. I'm hungry as hell. Oh, okay, well, I'm at the doctor's office, man. I'm finna put my phone back on the charge. I'm gonna call you when I leave the doctor's office. So I come out of the doctor's office. There was a text message saying, are you still coming over here? Now, I never said I was coming over there. So I said, well, I'm just now leaving the doctor's office. So she called me. Hey, man, you coming over here or what? I'm like, shit, what I'm coming over there for? I'm hungry. I want to eat. I want something to eat. Can you bring me something to eat? I said, yeah, but if I come over there, I want to play with some pussy. Now, I hadn't even had a bath. You know what I'm saying? I worked yesterday till 5 in the morning. Yesterday morning, this was like 5 in the evening. I had to be at the doctor at 2:45. So basically, I overslept. You know what I'm saying? I had to get up and so basically what I'm trying to say, man, is I wasn't trying to have no sex with her. But with all these weird emotions and shit like that, no, don't call me my nigga if sex ain't on the table. Mind you, she lived like 25 miles away from me. It's a good 30-minute drive, if not more. So, just one of them things. So, I get there or whatever, I bring the food, and this nigga ain't looked me in the face not damn time. Just walking around, not even looking at me in the face. So I'm trying to give her a hug, tell her, hey, and just trying to bring the energy level up. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm at this point right now where I want to fight this negative energy thing. Because if anything, I just want to be friends. You know what I'm saying? We don't got to have no sex or nothing, but I'm not in the mood to be feeling misused. And if we're going to feel misused, let's just go on and end it right now. But need to draw this line in the sand. So, of course, she stayed distant and shit, you know what I'm saying? Didn't say anything smart, just pretty much stayed pretty distant. And so I asked her, why you looking at me like that? She told me, man, I ain't even look at you at all. I'm like, that's the whole point. And she stepped back and created like this 8 feet of distance. And I just looked at her and said, damn, why you so distant? And what I wanted to go do was go in the house and get that food and step in the goddamn food. Because I don't give a damn about throwing the money away. But at this particular point, I don't want to see you eating my shit. I'll take one of these dollars and stick them up your dog ass. How much I care about that $10. But the fact that you're trying to play me a certain type of way is the only problem that I have with this particular situation. And you're doing it on purpose, and it's very unnecessary. So I told her, hey man, fuck you, man. I said something about breaking her face or something like that. While I was walking away, now I wasn't standing toe to toe with her when I said it and no shit like that. I was heated. You know what I'm saying? I was heated, and mind you, our whole relationship started in this tumultuous, very promiscuous phase. So to be talking like that toward each other is not rare. You understand what I'm saying? If you was to say it was somebody or something else, I mean, it probably would be different. But we talking about somebody who probably had sex with a friend of mine or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Maliciously, So it's not a. Basically, I'm not making an excuse for it, but what I'm saying is, people relate to each other completely different. So of course she called me, man, and told me that when I picked her up, I took a gun out, shot it in the air. This is probably true for the year 2000. It's 2017. You know what I'm saying? I took her to my homeboys and asked did they want her. Like, that's a motherfucking